Edible rendering with Alfa Laval, the Danish Crown fat rendering plant in Denmark. Take a good look at these products and remember, this is a video presenting fat rendering, and indeed highly profitable fat rendering. These high-value charcuterie and prepared meat products all incorporate protein greaves from the edible fat rendering plant. The protein greaves are in fact a natural meat substance and might very profitably be added to these consumer products in amounts of up to 10%, depending on the actual recipe. The protein greaves are produced either as dried, extra defatted greaves with good storage properties, or as deep cooled greaves suitable for immediate use within a day. Of course, edible fat rendering yields lard or tallow of premium qualities as well, ready for retailing if so desired. You're now invited for a short tour in the Danish Crown facilities located near to the town of Randers in Denmark. The fully automated plant is easily monitored from the control center. Nominal throughput is 5 tons per hour, but it ranges from 4 tons an hour for high rind materials to 7 tons an hour for good tallow raw material. The raw materials arrive either cooled in plastic covered containers or slaughter fresh from Danish Crown's abattoirs. Unloaded in the receival bin, the various kinds of raw materials are carefully dosed by a screw conveyor to the metal detection section. If any kind of metals are detected, the belt automatically reverses for a few seconds and hereby unloads the metal containing materials. Normal feeding to the mincer is then automatically resumed and the fatty tissues pass an 8mm final hull plate before entering the melting process. A special circulation system, including an asymmetrically coned holding tank, ensures thorough melting of all kinds of incoming raw materials. The melted raw material suspension is now pumped into the Alfa Laval decanter centrifuge for separating the glue water from the greaves. This decanter centrifuge is equipped with a special main motor allowing the decanter bowl to rotate very slowly at cleaning. This in order to eliminate fouling inside the bowl. Let's leave the greaves for a moment now and take a closer look at the glue water downstream processing. The glue water still contains finely dispersed protein particles, soluble proteins, and of course fat. As much fat as possible is separated off in the first separator, the so-called concentrator, and the fat in this plant then goes on to the purifier separator in order to clean up the fat. A constant flow of clear and bright lard leaves the separator, but it might as well have been clear and bright tallow. The fat quality is monitored by a photocell system controlling an automatic 3-way valve. If for some reason improper fat quality is detected, the fat is automatically returned upstream for reprocessing. But normally, the fat flows on to primary cooling, taking the temperature down to approximately 45 degrees centigrade. The lard or tallow is then cooled further down depending on the actual packing type and size. Here, a specially flavored table lard is being packed. Other days, the fat ends up in packings holding several kilos. We're now going back to the other glue water fraction, the defatted glue water coming from the first separator. At Danish Crown, this fraction is being concentrated in a multi-stage evaporator. The concentrated gelatinous water is further defatted in a small separator in order to obtain a product with about 30% dry matter and fat content as low as around 5%. Though it doesn't look like, it actually tastes like grandmother's best beef sauce. Thanks to its broth-like flavor, this concentrate, here in chilled form, is being used as aroma substance in sausages, soups, sauces, and other products. From the decanter station, we now zoom in on the greaves. Modern consumers demand low-fat products, and the greaves thus pass an extra defatting stage, approximately halving the fat content, before final dewatering in the second decanter centrifuge. Since it's used for human consumption, the protein greaves must be either dried or cooled immediately after processing. Cooling from approximately 70 degrees centigrade to 3 degrees centigrade takes place in 2 stages and is completed within 10 to 20 minutes, depending on the actual type. The first stage is brine cooled, while the second stage is cooled by liquid nitrogen. The cooled protein greaves are finely ground and stored or packed in hygienic containers or sacks. The valuable protein greaves constitute an excellent meat stretcher when added to minced meat products. Alternatively, the defatted protein greaves might be dried to obtain best durability for transport and/or storage. These dried protein greaves hold between 4 and 8% humidity and as little as 6 to 10% fat on dry matter, the lowest for beef products. A really versatile meat product, highly appreciated due to the low fat content. Danish Crown markets its 90% protein beef greaves domestically as well as for export and gives full specifications even for the contents of amino acids. You too could benefit from the advanced use of fatty tissues. If you recognize any of these above products from your own production or from that of your customers, you'll have a great potential for increased profits. Talk to Alfa Laval about edible fat rendering and get hold of the extra profits. Edible rendering with Alfa Laval brings you a lot of special features. True continuous processing, flexible production planning, easily cleaned equipment, advanced automation, low energy consumption. And even more important, edible rendering with Alfa Laval brings you valuable benefits, profitable edible end products like deep cooled edible protein greaves, dried and extra defatted greaves, premium edible fat qualities, low fat products meet today's trends, no problems with veterinarians, Alfa Laval processing know-how.